Have you ever noticed how people who act the most confident are often the ones who had to build it from nothing? They weren't born fearless. They were built out of doubt, rejection, and survival. There's something strange about confidence. Everyone wants it, but the more you try to look confident, the less you actually feel it. We spend our lives chasing approval, and the irony is, the harder you chase it, the smaller you become. So, what if confidence isn't about becoming more? What if it's about unlearning everything that made you forget who you were? Let's uncover the real psychology behind insecurity and how to reprogram it, one truth at a time. You walk into a room and immediately your brain starts scanning. Who looks more confident than me? Who's judging me right now? You smile, but it feels forced. You speak, but you hear yourself analyzing every word as it leaves your mouth. You laugh, then wonder, did that sound weird? Later, you replay it all, every pause, every expression, and the voice inside says you could have done better. It happens at work, with friends, even with people who love you. That quiet comparison, that background feeling of being less than. And sometimes, you don't even know why. You've achieved things. You're capable. But it still feels like you're playing catch-up with everyone else's life. That's insecurity. Not loud, not obvious, but subtle, constant, and exhausting. Here's what most people never realize. Insecurity doesn't come from not being good enough. It comes from not feeling safe to be yourself. Let's break down what's really happening. Low confidence isn't about talent. It's about programming. From childhood, your brain was writing emotional code based on how you were treated when you expressed yourself. When you said something silly, did people laugh with you or at you? When you made a mistake, did someone teach you or shame you? When you cried, did someone comfort you or tell you to stop overreacting? Each of those moments taught your nervous system something fundamental. Is it safe to be me? Attachment and conditional love. Psychologists call this attachment conditioning. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, where affection depended on grades, behavior, or perfection, your brain learned that love has to be earned. So, as an adult, you keep performing, not because you want to impress, but because your body still believes that without performance, you'll lose connection. That's why low confidence isn't fixed by compliments. You can tell someone they're amazing, but if their body doesn't feel safe being seen, the words won't land. You can't think your way into self-worth if your nervous system is still wired for survival. Mirror neurons and the imitation loop. Here's something fascinating. Neuroscience shows we have mirror neurons, which make us subconsciously copy the emotions and energy of people around us. So, if you grew up with parents or peers who were anxious, critical, or emotionally absent, your brain mirrored that. You internalized their self-doubt as your own. It wasn't personal. It was biological. That's why children of confident parents often carry quiet assurance. Not because they were told they're amazing, but because they witnessed calm in the mirror. And children of anxious parents, they inherit the tension. They learn that silence means danger, that being seen equals risk. Confidence, then, isn't just mindset. It's emotional inheritance. The brain's error detector. Now here's where science gets even more interesting. Insecurity isn't just emotional, it's neurological. Inside your brain is a structure called the anterior cingulate cortex, responsible for detecting errors and social pain. It activates the same way whether you burn your hand or feel left out of a group chat. Your brain literally experiences rejection like physical pain. So when you hesitate to speak up in a room, it's not weakness. It's your brain trying to protect you from what it perceives as danger. Your body thinks it's saving you. Here's the cruel loop most people get stuck in. You feel insecure. You overthink how to appear confident. You act out of fear, not authenticity. It feels fake, so your brain says, "See, you're not confident." The cycle repeats. The more you try to fix insecurity, the deeper it embeds itself. Because every attempt to prove your worth is a hidden admission that you don't believe you have any. That's why self-help often fails. You can't patch a hole in identity with performance. You have to change the foundation. Here's the truth most people miss. You don't build confidence by becoming louder. You build it by becoming safer with yourself. Let's reprogram the mind, step by step. Step 1. Awareness. Catch the voice. The next time you hear that inner critic, pause. Don't argue with it. Don't suppress it. Just ask, whose voice is this, really? Because often, it's not yours. It's your mother's disappointment, your teacher's sarcasm, your ex's criticism, your society's impossible standards. You've just repeated it so long, it started sounding like your own thoughts. Awareness detaches power. Once you name the voice, you can choose not to obey it. Step 2. Resafety. Train the nervous system. Confidence isn't logic. It's regulation. You don't have to convince yourself you're safe. You have to show your body that you are. Try this. Before a meeting or conversation or creative act, exhale slowly. Relax your shoulders. Remind yourself, I'm allowed to be seen. Every time you breathe through fear instead of running from it, you're literally rewiring your vagus nerve, the system that connects your brain to your gut and heart. Slow breath equals safety signal. Safety signal equals calm voice. Calm voice equals natural confidence. That's biology, not philosophy. Step 3. Exposure. Small acts of truth. You can't meditate your way into confidence. You have to practice truth in motion. Say what you really think once. Wear what makes you feel alive once. Ask the question you've been afraid to ask once. Every act of truth, no matter how small, tells your brain, I can survive being myself. And slowly, fear becomes familiarity. Familiarity becomes safety. Safety becomes confidence. This is how courage is built, one honest moment at a time. Step 4. Reframe the power of imperfection. We've been sold a lie that confidence means certainty. But the most confident people you'll ever meet are comfortable not knowing. They don't need to be right. They need to be real. Think about comedians, creators, leaders. They make mistakes publicly. And instead of shrinking, they own it. That's the secret. Perfection repels connection. Imperfection creates it. You don't attract people by being flawless. You attract them by being human. Step 5. Reparent. Talk to yourself differently. Every time you criticize yourself, you reinforce an old program that says love must be earned. To reprogram it, you have to become the parent you needed, not the one you had. That means when you mess up, you don't attack yourself, you reassure yourself. When you feel fear, you don't shame yourself, you comfort yourself. Psychologists call this self-reparenting. And research shows it can physically shrink your brain's fear center, the amygdala. You're literally teaching your body a new language. Love as safety, not reward. Think about this. Most people you admire, the ones who seem effortlessly confident, were once the opposite. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Emma Watson once said she felt like a fraud every time she stepped on set. That's imposter syndrome, something 70% of professionals experience. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move with it. It's knowing that you'll be okay, even if someone doesn't approve. Because your worth stopped being a negotiation. Remember how we started. The paradox of confidence, that it can't be chased, only remembered. You were born confident. You cried loudly, demanded love, stumbled, fell, and tried again. Without shame. You didn't doubt your worth then. You learned it too. Now, it's time to unlearn. Because the truth is, confidence isn't a performance. It's permission. Permission to take up space. Permission to speak your truth. Permission to exist without apologizing for it. And the most powerful person in any room isn't the loudest. It's the one who doesn't need the room's approval to belong there.